when actors do it, I don't think it's the same. When actors play gay roles or portray gay, like, because I feel like that's just it's acting. It has nothing to do with what arouses you or what arouses your audience. Like, you know what I mean? It's just about you're playing this role.
Unless you're watching Oz or Queer as Folk.
Flexing their acting chops.
Noah's Ark.
Are they playing a convincing gay person? Are they a good actor? Like, I could have swore Eric Spoelstra was gay because he's like.
I know.
Who?
I was like, oh,
Eric McCormick too. I thought he was actually gay too. Neither one of them are.
Mm-hmm.
Who?
Eric McCormick, Will from Will and Grace.
Will from Will and Grace, and
Cam from Modern
Cam
Family.
from Modern
Mm.
Family.
They're straight.
Yeah. So,
and then there's some examples of it that's not
gay baiting.
That's not gay baiting. That's
being a thespian. They're being
wait, is it art imitating life or was it the other way around?
It's understanding the assignment.
Okay.
Right. Given what it's supposed to have gained.
Okay.
Because you would swear they were.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, they played those roles very well. For us to hate stereotypes, they really played those well.
That's what I'm saying. Like
some stereotypes.
I was going to say every stereotype is based on some
place of truth.
Yeah. Right. And when it's put on TV, like stereotypes, when it's put on in a comedic light, it is funny. Like stereotypes are funny. So, okay, so gay baiting. I mean, if you do it, hopefully you get your coin for it. If you're not, you ain't got nothing to worry about it. Maybe you're enjoying watching it. I mean, to each his own. I'm gonna say this: if you are doing it, don't feel judged. Get your money. So let's talk about representation, okay? And maybe they feel like the gay baiters feel like they needed some representation out there. I don't see nobody that looks like me. So no. But how important is representation in today's society or in any day's society? How important do you guys find representation? It is to see representation, whether it's on TV, whether it's in the political field, whether it's in any area where you feel like it should be important.
Well, I think it's very important. I mean, even till this day, you still got straight people saying certain things about gay people shouldn't be seen on TV, as if I'm not tired of seeing them straight ass faces on the screen. So it matters a lot. Like, you're seeing a lot more gay characters, a lot more Black characters. So, I mean, it's needed. Especially like when we were growing up, there weren't that many. I don't even remember a gay TV person on TV but Ellen. And I'm not a white woman with bangs.
Right, everybody wants to see themselves. Yeah. Like, right.
I thought we had Kyle Barker, but you know,
he's straight.
Right.
No, and not in real life.
No, I was gonna say, like back in the 80s, early 90s, I feel like the only person, nobody like Black and gay on TV, but they never really talked about his sexuality. Remember Designing Women, the Black guy that was on there?
Yeah.
No, but he was gay in real life, but he wasn't gay on the show.
Yeah. Right. I was gonna say, like, on the show.
The first person I think I could say is Wayman from Low Down Dirty Shame. That's where you saw it.
But that was really drastic.
Oh, yeah. That was like drastic.
That was supposed to be like a clownish version of us.
Like,
but no.
There was plenty.
Remember in Living Color, Men on Film.
Men on Film.
That was the extreme.
That was extreme.
It was like it was a punchline. Like
right. Actually, the first one I remember.
It wasn't really representation.
Yeah,
right.
I remember the guy on who had the punchlines on Mark, and he'd be like, "You so almond-y." I don't even know if he was gay. I don't even know who he was. I can't think of him right now. I could think of him, but like that was the closest. Like, that's discrimination.
Right.
I think with representation now, what's happening is people are okay. So back in the day, you know, you had stereotypes and people were a certain way, and if you had someone come on, they were there just to play a stereotype. So now with representation, you have people who you know, just look at, you know, TV and film now. You know, you have, you know, Indian actors and Middle East actors, and you know, they don't have to be a terrorist. You know, a black person don't have to be a thug. You know, so it's like it's kind of good that they're kind of expanding representation. You know, like, you know, black women, like, they're
Am I gonna have to
educated.
edit that out?
What?
No.
No, I'm being honest. That was an old
No.
Hollywood stereotype. Like, if you
was.
saw, you know, somebody
Yeah.
from the East, like, they
Yeah.
weren't in the leading role. They were probably playing the terrorist just like a black person. Like,
I
you know,
mean, but honestly, representation is extremely important, like you were saying, because it's about, like, this back in the day was about our representation with stereotypes. Now is about diving into the story behind the stereotypes. What created these stereotypes? What makes this person angry or snap? Like, you know what I mean? Now we're getting to, like,
people.
The right, the whole
Who are these people
humanity
overall?
of it all.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. But I think society got guilt tripped it into showing representation.
Oh,
Because they didn't really
definitely.
care about it
yeah.
until people were getting offended.
Until, honestly, I think until it was becoming worth money. Then it
exactly,
became
like
when,
Black. You see the success of Black Panther,
Hey,
but it's like,
that,
bitch, we done had Black Panther has been out since the 70s in the comic books, but it was like they could have been making those movies or whatever. It was like,
or even gave him a TV show,
he wasn't the
all
first
these comic
Black
book characters had TV shows back in the day. Black Panther did.
Right. It's like, you know, because they never were putting the
but they had Black
behind.
superheroes. Remember Static Shock? So it was Black cartoon superheroes out back, you know.
But I'm talking about, like,
ago.
when Wonder Woman had her TV show, the Incredible Hulk had his their TV show, not cartoons, with the real human
TV show.
Yeah, their real human TV show. Like, it was way back in the day before our time. So, like, when Batman, you know, Eartha Kitt was in Batman, you know, those back in the day. Black Panther didn't.
I don't think Black Panther was
they,
out back then.
He was
no,
out.
It was.
He was out
In the
since the 70s.
I don't think he was. I don't think his character was introduced till maybe the late 70s or the 80s.
It was in the 70s, but that's what
you
I'm
gotta
saying.
remember those source materials for, like, Batman and, like, you know, Hulk. Those are like 30s, 40s, 50s. Like, those are like
that's a long time ago.
But what I'm saying, even in the 70s, they had a comic book character that they could have went based off of.
But you got to understand
we didn't get Static Shock till the 90s.
But you got to understand that's the time.
But he was before Black Panther.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying. But Black Panther was out before Static Shock was known about. Like, he existed before Static Shock.
Yeah.
But we didn't.
But you didn't really hear too much about him except for the fact that he was married to Storm. That's the only thing people really cared about him.
No. If you look at, because I'll be watching.
That's the only way I found out about him.
Like, my little nerd side of me be watching Comics Explained. Shout out to y'all. Like, in Black Panther, he had stories. He had the whole thing.
No, I know he had a whole story, whatever, but most people didn't really know about who he really was until they found out, the character Storm was married to him.
But all right, I'm gonna get on topic real quick. But you have to remember, even in the 70s, we were still doing stereotype, kind of like Black, you know, actors and features. Remember the whole pimp, you know, Dolomite type of, you know what I'm saying? So it was
Black exploitation film.
Yeah, so it was really no,
like, Black people were not the hero. We had the anti-heroes. It was like, oh, Shaft, he's a bad mother, shut your mouth. Like, he got shit done, but he still, like,
was hood as hell.
Exactly. So it was like, we didn't have heroes.
Yeah, I feel like it wasn't until
Black Man was from the projects, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Right. Now we had Black
Meteor
Man. Now we did have Black superhero movies before Black Panther. They just wasn't put on the spectrum as Black.
They were on.
It wasn't
even like Meteor Man.
It was satires though.
They were satires. They were caricatures. Now we did have Blade. They could have put more money in Blade.
Yeah.
But
And
Blade
Spawn.
was sticking there, and Spawn, right?
Yeah.
But like, I feel like they didn't get the backing.
Black wasn't popular back then.
Right.
I feel like honestly, it just wasn't given a chance to be, because when we were given the chance, it was always a hit. Like, when you look at Color Purple, look at like these iconic Black movies from back in the day, when we was given a chance to be a Black movie, they were hits. Coming to America, like, you know,
Yeah,
just
they
looking at, like, you know what I mean. So it just was, we just wasn't given the opportunities.
Yeah,
And
but
it
I
was,
feel like
I
if,
don't think it's that we
But
weren't given
like
them
the color,
opportunity. It's
we
black people
didn't
have a
have
hard
good
time.
stories.
go
Black
ahead.
people have a
Sorry, go
hard
ahead.
time embracing anything that has something to do with anything magical because it's always as the devil.
Mhm.
So
well, I think
it wasn't as popular. I mean, it's more popular now to, you know, be okay with all that and watching, you know, black people perform magic and all of the stuff on TV. Before, all we heard was, don't do that. That shit is devil. That's the devil. That's all you heard.
well, I think
Right.
also you have to understand that, all right, if you don't have a freedom to create, then those who are in power, you know, producers, studios,
Director.
they're going to control the narrative. And then for a long time, you have to understand the only
Oh,
type of were typically
hold up,
minstrel
hold up,
shows.
hold up,
Black
hold up, hold up, hold up.
Rewind. You gotta start over.
Just skip the beat.
But
Yeah.
Get that Wi-Fi together.
oh,
All right, go ahead.
so
Yeah,
I
that
would.
cricket Wi-Fi.
Oh,
Go ahead.
I'm sleeping.
but no, so for a
Okay,
long,
so
like I said,
you
like
got
it
power.
was like really until like, you know, the late 70s and 80s that we kind of got out of doing like minstrel shows and like, you know, stereotypical shows. So like, you know, the Cosby Show and, you know, like they were like, you know, outside, you know, George and Wheezy, they were like,
Outside the box.
yeah, outside the box. People who were successful, you know, so we getting a late start, but you got to remember we was never in control of, you know, writing, production, you know, just
Right.
even getting people in the room in these spots, like it's kind of hard.
Listening to Randy, it made me think of, well, I'm about to show my age, like Dynasty. Like when Diane Carroll was on there, it was like, what? She was a bitch. She was rich black woman who was going head to toe with them white women, like fighting them and everything, and didn't get arrested. It didn't go to jail. Like,
so it was shown before.
Oh, but
late
very
70s.
seldomly, very seldom.
Right.
But it was on a popular show that a lot of people
because really everybody else was struggling. Like besides the Cosbys and the Jeffersons, it was
right. Everybody,
what's happening.
But
Good
that's
times.
what I'm saying.
Good times, yeah.
Right. Sanford and Son, everybody was bums.
Like we were always middle class. Yeah, like
and that's what I was saying. Like as far as like even with the show Dynasty, like when Diane Carroll, right? That's her name. That's how. Diane Carroll. When Diane Carroll was on there, it was a hit. So it wasn't, to me, it was just like it wasn't like, I feel like the black dollar was always worth a lot of money, and they seen that, and they didn't want it to shift yet. So we were only given bits and nitbits, and like, because every time you see where they tried, or they like they put the black person in a lead role, or they like made it about it worked. Like, you know what I mean? Like back then it worked. Now we see how, you know, much the black dollar is worth now. But like even back then. So, but I believe that representation, back to representation, like it's super important, because until I got older, like y'all said, because back in the day, like in our day, it wasn't a lot of like with our children movies and stuff, it wasn't black families. Cheaper by the Dozen wasn't a black family. Like, you know what I mean? The Twins movie, whatever it was called, they wasn't black. Like all of our growing up, Mrs. Doubtfire, all this, like our classic, they weren't black. They weren't black families. So it's just like, we didn't have that representation. But when I get older and I see it, I'd be like, well, damn, that looked like could have been my dad. Or damn, that looked like could have been my, like representation really does.
Like, or like TGIF, they used to be my shit. But when you really only had one family, like Family Matters, like that was the black family, because everybody else was, you know, like Step by Step was all white. Full House, Boy Meets World, all white, and we just had like the one black family.
And it wasn't nothing wrong with it. They were still great shows, but we're just saying how.
And that kind of like fed off to where you got
those shows.
Exactly.
Right. And then came like Fresh Prince, and then like
Sister.
Right. So I mean, slowly but surely, it started to become less Like,
right. And I think now that's why we can see the confidence in the Black community rising and rising and rising. Okay, because they like, I can do basically anything that I want to do because it's been proven, it's been shown. Like, you know what I mean? So but outside of the Black community, I do think that representation is important, like with the whole LGBTQ plus community, the trans community. I believe like, even if non-binary is going to be a thing, I feel like if we see it, then maybe we'll learn more, or like, you know what I mean? They got to give us, you know, this is the way that we teach the media.
But you know what's crazy? Like we're talking about representation, but even now, that's still an issue because there's been a couple roles where cisgender women are playing transsexual women.
Right. Right. So, but I feel like now I feel like that would, it would, I'm not gonna say it still wouldn't happen, but now we have trans women who are actors, who are actresses,
prove that they can act,
who prove that they can do it, do the job. So yeah, I believe that, you know, and it goes both ways. I believe a trans woman should be able to play a cisgender woman role too. Like, because I believe it's about, when it's acting, is about who can portray the story the best.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, even if it's like, if it's a gay role, but none of the gays are hitting it like the straight person is hitting it, then give it to the
because they're in their head thinking too much.
Right. Like, I'm not.
How
like,
should I play gay as if you ain't been living that role for 28 years?
Right. So do you believe that? Representation can come from, like, gay representation can come from a straight person?
Yes. If anything, we learned that from Tay Diggs.
From Tay Diggs and what?
A few things.
Where did he play gay in?
He was gay and wasn't in Rent. Wasn't his character with a transgender person?
No, in Rent.
I thought that was Kinky Boots.
No, Kinky Boots.
Oh, Kinky Boots. I ain't see Kinky Boots.
Yeah, he played again as Kinky Boots.
The Broadway play.
Oh, the guy in the movie was straight, wasn't he? That British actor.
On Kinky Boots?
Yeah.
Yeah, on the original movie?
The movie, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The guy who played them, was straight. Right. But see,
I just don't like
Holiday Heart, like, you know what I mean? Like, you can get some good representation. I know that will touch you, Randy. Don't you bring up this Holiday Heart. No. But you can
I didn't like that movie. I had a boss. I had a boss that looked like that. I swear to God, that woman looked like Holiday. It was big rains and drag.
Okay, but even like, and with the drag movie,
Tu Wong Fu.
Like, I believe that they can give you some good representation. Now, the characters, you can get good representation based on their character that they play. Them as a person, no, because they're not what they're portraying. You get what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean?
That's like, acting.
Right.
Like, I don't think Scarlett Johansson should have played an Asian character in that movie she did.
In that movie,
when she was like a robot or whatever.
Ghost in the Shell?
Ghost in the Shell.
Why? Because it was an Asian.
Ghost in the Shell, yeah. That was from an Asian
robot
character, so she shouldn't have never played that. Great, she's a very good actress.
They got whitewashed so many movies. Dragon Ball Z. Like,
if we're going to talk about representation, we got to talk about that representation cannot be done now. Sexually, yes. Sexual preference wise, yes. But racially, no. It cannot be. You cannot. No. I cannot represent a race that I am not. As an actor, I don't care how great of an actor I am. Unless you're Eddie Murphy, but because he played the Asian guy.
So you trying to tell me that we couldn't have a black Superman?
No, it should go both ways.
Are you
telling
me that we couldn't have a black Superman
his own character,
or a black Lois Lane, or a black Luthor?
I think they should, because those are fictional characters.
Right. They're not.
That's
real.
fun.
They're just known.
Ghost in the Shell is a fictional character. Like,
you said, what?
Ghost in the Shell.
But no, the movie was based. But that movie was based off of a character off of a video game who was Asian.
who was a robot.
But she was Asian though.
But she was Asian.
And if they're gonna, and my thing is, if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna make her white, then don't make everybody else around her Asian.
Asian, exactly.
Like it's just like.
But I think that's what's happening now is Hollywood is starting to see that people want representation, so they don't need that white savior where, like, any kung fu movie, karate movie, like usually they will put a white lead actor in those spots.
Yeah.
For what? I don't know.
Right.
But
that's America.
Yeah,
that's America's media for you, period. They do it not just with kung fu movies. Passion of the Christ. How are y'all over where y'all at? And Jesus is pale, but everybody else around Jesus
got
melanin in their skin, but he pale.
Because Jesus is from heaven and the clouds is white.
Oh, all right. But I could have sworn he was raised in this earth sun. But I mean,
before he here.
But that's what I'm saying. And even in like what the movie like Aladdin, where like you know what I mean. Again, with the fictional character Will Smith played a genie, which was blue, but played by a white guy. But he, I feel like that could be played by any race.
Yeah, anybody.
But Aladdin and Jasmine was the most. I'm sorry to these actors, but was the most Europeanist looking Middle Eastern. I don't even know if they were they really Middle Eastern. I don't know. I'm just assuming that they would get Middle Eastern people to play Aladdin and Jasmine, but they were very whitewashed.
I swear one of their last name was Rodriguez. So
again, representation cannot be done cross-culturally. Like you have to be authentic, at least with the race. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like if it's not a made-up story, if it's not a story based on a cartoon or a comic or something like that, you got to be authentic.
It's like getting Goldie Hawn to play Celie.
Lord.
But you know what? Ghost in the Shell, or no, what they say, who was supposed to play Harriet Tubman? Julia Roberts.
Right.
No, right.
What? I do remember that.
But I don't think that was true.
Yeah, that had to be a lie. But you know what? Remember,
but people get mad at it when it's a person of color too. Like when
I'm about to say Zoe Saldana.
I Saldana in that role.
They trying to do the same thing with Will Smith. Like, oh, he's not dark enough. Like,
play Serena Williams and them dead.
Yeah.
See, if you get the race right, I don't think the complexion matters. Like
it matters.
But they did the same thing with In the Heights.
That's too black.
No, look at Angela Bassett and Tina Turner. They two opposite colors.
No, I'm talking about the people who still complain like they're
doing
yeah. People somebody is not dark enough or they're not light enough to play a role. Like
right. And I feel like as long as you black and you're playing a black person, it don't matter what complexion you are. As long as you nail the role. If you nail the role, convince me to see past your complexion.
No, rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman, but ain't no way he should have been playing Thurgood Marshall. I'm like, this is being better.
Yeah, Thurgood was high yellow.
Like
he was high yellow. Yeah,
Thurgood was light right there white. Like, come on.
And I feel like that was a part of his story.
At least make him look a little bit like him.
Yeah, but when your complexion is a part of your story,
Terrence Howard to play that role.
Right. Yeah. But I feel like Thurgood Marshall, his complexion was a part of his story, and they shouldn't have took that out. Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because during those times, like your complexion played a big part of your story. Like, you know what I mean?
Right. He was a house slave.
So again, with representation, it's very important, but again, don't do it. You cannot cross racial boundaries and have somebody that is not the right culture play another culture. It just racial or race. I'm sorry.
It just going to be Rachel Dolezal
all over again.
Right. And I think America needs to get a little more. They're getting there, but I feel like America feels like they can only do one race at a time. Like, and I feel like, we're on this black dollar. So every now and again, the next one that's coming up is the Asian. You'll get an Asian movie every here and there, like the whole cast.
Oh, listen, Gene. Go finish.
And then I was thinking, because first I was thinking the next people was in line was Spanish, right? But I'm like, it don't seem like they're really getting highlighted in a lot of movies. I mean, you get Selena, but how many Selenas we didn't have now? You get
like somebody's always gonna find something to complain about. Like they were talking about this movie In the Heights. All like Spanish cast, you know, Dominicans and everything. Yeah. It was like, oh, well, there wasn't enough Afro-Latina
I know, yeah, they all found a reason.
Did they say
it's
that?
Always going to be something. Yes, it's always going to be something.
But I mean,
like,
they did have
so they did have some in there. It was like, but like Afro-Latina is like, are you gonna like?
Right.
Well, what I think is, like, you see with the Spanish, all right, what's his name? Charlie Sheen. He's you know what, half Spanish.
Yeah, because he uses the dad's last name, but his brother Emilio Estevez, the mom's last name.
Charlie Sheen.
Yeah.
Charlie Sheen. They're Spanish and white.
They're Spanish and white. Yeah.
3.5 Men. Yeah.
Right, but
the dad is white.
Okay, okay, that's fine. But what does he might be mixed with Spanish, but he definitely is looked at as a white man. He's looked at as a white man.
Oh, he gets
that's
more.
Yeah, they can pass.
I was like, he gets
can pass.
And it's not, but not all of them. But
not all of them. But
that's what I'm saying.
Look at Ted Cruz.
Whitewashed characters. It's the more like, you know, Europe, it goes back to our last video, the more European your features are within the movie business, the more you'll get casted like, you know what I mean? Like me, I'm black, but they would probably love to cast me as a Middle Eastern because I don't look as Middle Eastern. It's like, oh, he can pass a little bit. Just give him a texturizer. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but just cast the Middle Eastern. Like they would like, instead of just
bring me up at a 7-Eleven right now.
But so with, you know, representation now, what's happening is China has been making a whole lot of box office money. So now you see a lot of Asian characters are getting represented because, you know,
because it's
Glenn from Walking Dead, he just got nominated. He was like one of the first Asian men nominated for as best actor, and like
that little boy just won an Academy Award too.
But that just makes me think that all this stuff is just happening out of guilt. Like,
well, it's not guilt. It's money. It's money.
Like, are you actually doing it because these people are talented, or are you doing this because you don't want to be seen as a racist?
Well, it's money, one, and it's that also because that is connected to the money. If they're looked at as a racist, then they ain't gonna make money. So they're doing it for both reasons, but it's the money, like the Chinese dollar or the Asian dollar.
Genuine.
I don't want to, you know, the Asian dollar is
the acceptance isn't genuine. So that means it's gonna have some cracks. That's going, you know.
But that's why the Oscars are in the shape that they're in now, because we see the disingenuous shit, and we see, like, honestly, we're even getting tired of the white actors that's going up there and making a speech every time they get an award. Like, this goes to the black act, it's just, we got to do work before the problem instead of after the problem.
Like, I feel like alliances, and then get, you know, I mean, if they here to help out, they're here to help out.
No, but honestly, but like you said, that guilt thing, I feel like that those people who come up with these speeches comes from a guilt place.
Probably, maybe, yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? They felt bad, and like, you know.
Is it guilt, or is it acknowledging their white privilege and using their platform to say? Because the girl who I think it was the WNBA player who just got the accolades for being like the leader of WNBA, whatever. When she was like, listen, they don't get enough recognition. Like, they won 80% of the awards, but got 20% of the airtime. Like, this is like, they're the ones who built this industry, and they're not getting enough acknowledgement from it. It's like, there's right ways to do it. It's not like she was pandering or whatever. It's just like, listen, like, it is what it is. It's an issue that needs to be addressed, whereas though some people are pandering and they are feeling guilty or whatever. or they might have got caught up in some type of scandal. Like,
right. I feel like with her, because of the field that she's speaking from, it was very important because you don't hear that a lot coming from the WNBA field. Like, you know what I mean? But when it comes, when you're like in the film industry, and it's like, this is the 7th, 8th, 9th speech that we didn't hear from a white person acknowledging their white privilege. But after the first 2, maybe 3, y'all would think of something to do to prevent it instead of like making a speech after it happens.
Well, some of them have done some things.
No, I'm not saying. I'm not saying.
No.
I'm not discrediting none of the work that any of them has done or have or do. But this is what I'm saying when it comes to the people who do it out of guilt, or some people who do it out of like, this is just because I don't want people to look at me for being happy for my own word. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I feel like some white people look at it like that. Like, some white people feel like, okay, they can't be happy now because we're going to look at it as, oh, well, that could have went to somebody of color. You get what I'm saying?
But I mean, they just did the same thing, and I think country music. A lady made a speech about, you know, Black artists has been a part of country music since an inception. Like, shoot, technically, y'all get country music from, you know, this, that, and the third, but they're really not acknowledged. Like, you know, so, you know, it's kind of a good thing because it's like they're pulling attention. Like, hey, you know, yeah, we're getting this, and I might have the good work, but you're still not representing everybody that should be here. And I think that's when that happens. That's what kind of like, you know, gets the ball
Jackson in your background.
No, that's the same one.
Oh.
That's Janet.
But no, but honestly,
Michael and Thriller.
Okay. But honestly, Ready, you said something.